So I'm just here to talk about how impressive the Philadelphia 76ers have actually been this season and how well they have played. They beat the Kings. I don't know when I'm gonna release it, but they beat the Kings without Joel Embiid and without James Harden, and it was very impressive. Came back from down as much as 21 points, I'm pretty sure, and they are now 30 and 16 on the season, the second seed in the Eastern Conference, just 4.5 games back behind the Boston Celtics, who have been the best team in the NBA. But it's pretty impressive nonetheless. They just won 5 straight games on the road in their West Coast road trip, and it was hella impressive, man. They've been just playing some really good basketball. They've been much better than I thought they would be, especially after that start. They started 1-4, right? So since then they are 29-12, and it's been just incredible, right? Joel Embiid has been playing the best basketball of his career. It has been overshadowed by Nikola Jokic and his brilliance, but Joel Embiid has been brilliant himself, and of course the only question mark with him is the health. And one healthy season, one healthy postseason could change everything for Joel Embiid, and this could be the one actually. This could be the one because they are taking better care of him throughout the regular season. They are also, I think, having him do a little less, and they are getting it to him from the point that he's taking better shots. He's not, going as much to the ground for some way too aggressive plays here. And I think it really benefited him so far this season. Then you have James Harden getting back to what he was. He's not the Houston Rockets James Harden, but he's been sensational. His net rating also says so, right? And then you have some role players just like Georges Niang, who's been a 3-point sniper, and his offense is incredible. You have Matisse Thybulle, whose defense has been incredible, and these two balance it out pretty well. Tobias Harris has been great, even though of course his contract is still an overpay, but we have to give props where it is. He's played his role sensationally. He stepped up when he needed to, and he's been great. Tyrese Maxey has been figuring it out better, and you have some good solid role players. Otherwise, D'Anthony Melton's numbers, from advanced statistics don't look that great, but I would say he's been one hell of an addition, especially when Tyrese Maxey was out. He was sensational in the starting role. He's a great stealer. He's a great shooter. I think he's always going to be valuable in the playoffs for certain matchups. Then PJ Tucker, of course, his numbers are not impressive, but you want him on your team for the playoffs. You always want guys like PJ Tucker on your team for the playoffs. And they are playing some really good basketball. I really like what they're doing offensively. I like their defense. Joel Embiid anchoring it all. He's just one hell of an offensive player, right? And they shoot a lot of things at the basket. They take a lot of great shots there. They are shooting 59% from less than 10 feet. They are pretty well in catch and shoot and pull-ups, both at 40%, which is pretty solid. And they don't take like early or late shots. They are pretty average, fairly in that. And they don't over dribble, I would say. And also they got some really good dribblers, so it doesn't matter really, right? They are really good at just doing a lot of stuff, right? They are just a great two-way team, right? And their lineups have been really impressive. When you look at their most played lineups this year, they are all just in positives, except for a lineup that includes Shake Milton, Tobias Harris, D'Anthony Melton, Joel Embiid, PJ Tucker, that played in 7 games with 58 minutes played. That was their worst lineup in their most played. It's the one bad lineup until you get to 33 minutes with Georges Niang, Tyrese Maxey, Melton, House, and Embiid. It's either a really great lineup where the differences are astonishing, or a really bad lineup just like these two, but it's still really impressive, and I like what they've done with the lineups and their certain variations. And the starting lineup is great. Tyrese Maxey is great in there, and they are doing a lot of good things. And of course, like I said, you have Joel Embiid averaging 37 points basically. He's averaging almost 10 rebounds, 4 assists, block a game, steal a game, almost 2 blocks a game. He's been sensational. You have Tyrese Maxey having 21 points per game, which is great, even though he missed some time. James Harden with 21.5 points and 12 assists. He's been incredible. But then you have Tobias Harris, like I said, he's shooting 50% from the field, which is incredible. He's shooting about 37.5% from the three-point line, which is great. And they have a lot of above average shooters, right? They have a lot of people around that 40%, 39% mark, which is great. And that one sniper in Georges Niang, who's just a sniper with 42% from the field. And they don't have one true negative shooter. Matisse Thybulle has been better shooting the basketball, which is great, right? I did not expect him to shoot this well. I mean, 30% is not well, but for his sake, it's well, and he's been able to stay on the floor a little bit more. And if he's able to stay on the floor throughout the playoffs, right, he's just an incredible defender to have on your team for those types of moments. The question is, will he be able to stay on the floor, of course? But so far, it's been pretty solid this season. And I mean, when you look at it, man, Joel Embiid has 64% true shooting on this season, which is incredible. And he's one of the best offensive players in the league. He's one of the best box plus minus players in the league, and he's just incredible. And then when you look at, the advanced statistics, they are the 5th best team in net rating. They are the 6th best team in offense. They are the 4th best team in defensive rating. They are somewhere middle of the park in turnovers. They are one of the slower paced teams in the league, which is fine for them. It works for them really well, and I think it's great to have already that, because in the playoffs it's gonna slow down, and you want that, and they are preparing for that, and they are already in that mode, right? So they should be better in the playoffs even with that. And when you even look at the teams that are in the slower pace, it's a lot of good teams, right? There are some mid teams or some middle of the pack teams, but it's a lot of good teams in there, and they are one of the best shooting teams in the league. They are 48% from the field, 8th in the league, and they shoot 38% from the 3-point line, which is really solid. Of course, they don't take that many of those. They don't take that many 3-pointers. They are not one of the most. They don't take just that many, but they're still in the top half, right? They are 14th, which is still really good, and their percentage is sensational. And like I said, those assist turnover numbers are somewhere in the middle of the pack, so they don't have a clear weakness. Of course, you could talk about some maybe defensive limitations. You are still unsure about Doc Rivers to me, because I think he can screw it up for you in the playoffs, I believe. And it's gonna be intriguing to see that, of course, because we've seen it a lot of times. But yeah, so far so good with Doc, and he's been coaching his ass off, so give him credit right now. And let's not speculate what will happen then. When it will happen, if it will happen, we'll talk about it. We'll give him his props. We'll, say what has to be said then. And also another impressive thing, Joel Embiid missed 12 games, 8-4 without him. James Harden missed 16 games, 10-6 without him. Tyrese Maxey missed 19 games, 13-6 without him. So there are some really impressive numbers, and if they are able to stay healthy, which is the real problem right here, right? They've missed a lot of games already this season, but maybe their injury luck will be better throughout the season, right? And they got the injury unluck out of their, I don't know how to say it, out of their mojo or psyche, or I don't know. But it feels really good for Philadelphia, and I think Philly should be really excited about this team. They get a shot as long as Embiid is healthy, Harden is healthy. They have a shot, and I believe more in them than I thought I would. So this is me just giving them props, how well they've played, how well they ran it, how the pick and rolls are looking. I didn't even talk about it properly, right? The pick and rolls have been popping. They are one of the better pick and roll run teams. Joel Embiid just does whatever he wants to do in the post, and James Harden operates well with him, and it's worked really well. Tyrese Maxey is the perfect third guy for them, who attacks the rim perfectly and actually does not shoot that badly. And they get some really cool shooters around them, some really good basketball players who can even put the ball on the floor and just do a lot of things on the basketball court, which is great. And they have been impressive. I'm impressed, I must say. And that has to mean something to them, right? Nah, I'm playing. Let me know your thoughts about the Philadelphia 76ers. Is your biggest concern with them just the health, or are there some things I, missed while watching them? This is my first year, really doing this, so I'm really picking up a lot of stuff, and it's been fun and also kind of tough, because I sometimes feel like I'm not smart enough to do this, but I also love to do this, so it's been a tough mix. But let me know your thoughts. What do you think about the Sixers, about Embiid? How do you view the chances this season? And I love you all. See you all with another video tomorrow.